Hello, good evening. Welcome back to another episode. This is your rundown right here, boo.
Okay.
Welcome to another episode of PLOPP. People love other people's problems. I am here today. Again, this week we know that Miss Granger is out of town. Everyone sent all their love and well wishes to her. Hi, Jen. Hi, Dina. Hi, Sacha. But she is watching. She is here in spirit. But I am here with the very lovely, the very talented, the very gorgeous KYLIE SONIQUE Love.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for plopping down with us.
Okay.
She is so beautiful. Girl. She had the nerve to tell me, girl, I'm not going to be looking all that good. I just came from the beach. I'm like, girl, if this would come from the beach look like, I don't know what the fuck my face looks like. I need to be coming from the beach, too.
My cousin is visiting me from Georgia. And
hi, cousin. She's over there hiding.
She's hiding.
Hi,
there she goes.
I'm here.
Yes, she is.
So we came straight here from the beach.
Looking gorgeous
with sand on my knees.
That's all right. That's okay. I love it. We are here this week with you're going to be hearing today from the very lovely Miss KYLIE SONIQUE Love. We're going to hear some of her music as well. This is going to be so great. A lot of you all don't know that this lady sings, honey. She's music out as well. She's not just a pretty face. There's some talent there.
I'm trying to get my phone set.
That's all right, girl. Get it set up. Girl, we plop.
Okay.
We just we're very informal, honey. This is not Good Morning America, honey, but we are just plopping, having a good time.
We're gonna plop up and have a good time.
We're on the big green virtual sofa. We're having a good time.
Wait, is there like are we in front of something?
No, that's just the color of the wall.
Okay. I didn't know if they had us like looking like we were at the beach.
No, that would be dope, huh? Kevin, Mr. Nash, you need to go ahead and figure this out with this green. Okay. You got a green background.
Utilize the green screen.
I know. It could be like a little LA overview or something. Wouldn't that be nice if it's something like that?
That would be nice.
I mean, with technology nowadays, you guys can just download an app on the phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could just be like this right now with a dope background.
Oh, wow. You know what? You might be right, but I'm not going to hold a phone like
We used to do that back then.
Really?
Well, I mean,
want to put my phone over
my old
there,
show.
maybe.
You want to put your phone over here?
Yeah.
It's going to be low, but it's okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Tell me how to press it. That voice you all heard, y'all know who that is, right? That's the very wonderful, handsome, beautiful chocolate engineer himself, Mr. A+ from The Takeover. Like that? That's good? Tell me how that's good.
Hi.
That's good?
That's great.
That's great. We on. Hi, everybody in Sonique Land.
Okay. They're probably like, what is going on
I know,
here?
like, what is she doing? Hi, A+, how are you today?
I'm good. I was just thinking about last week's topic once again.
The law of reciprocity.
The law of reciprocity, man. I got a story.
You do? What's
well,
your
not,
story?
not even a story, just an experience. You know what I mean?
What's your experience? We'd love to hear.
I mean, could this be my random vent? Even though I'm not a
this
part
could
of
be your
that?
random vent. You are always a part of everything we do on this show. You know that already. So don't play with me.
I didn't want to just jump.
And
the
don't
gun.
play with the friends. You ain't jumping no gun. We plopping.
Okay. I just. It's been heavy on my heart. You know what I mean?
What's on your heart that's real heavy?
But not just like. just being single out here or whatnot. You know what I mean? Just got out of a relationship at the end of the year. But not just it just makes me think about
A+_LA ladies if you want to hit him up because he is single.
No,
but go ahead.
_.
Oh, _. I'm sorry, I can't even put you out there properly.
You good? But not like just you learn about yourself, right? You learn what you like, what you don't like, and one of the things that I've noticed is and I don't know if it's the LA culture. Okay. Because I have a lot of my female friends that tell me, hey, man, you got to get out of LA. If you want to find true love, you got to get out of LA. And really? Not to put the stereotype amongst our ladies out here. And you guys are more than welcome to correct me. And I'm speaking very general because I know not everybody is like this. But like at times, I feel as if like sometimes women, they try to take advantage of you. And I'm not.
Just in LA?
Well,
just women?
once again, I'm
come on.
Once again, I'm not trying to make this a male versus female thing. I'm going to give you my perspective from a male's perspective.
I got
you. This is female friends telling me this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And what their experience is in LA culture. You know what I mean? So, as somebody who I'm not even a baller like that, you know what I mean? But so people can take advantage even of your time, right? Or take advantage of the little stuff that you have.
This is true.
But irregardless of that, my whole thing is about reciprocation, right? If I'm going out of my way calling you,
Okay.
Texting you, right?
That's what you do?
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm just saying, I love that. I can't get a motherfucker to call me.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if I'm reaching out just to communicate, even to ask you, even to ask you out or something like that, right? Like, cool. That's me expressing interest, right?
That is.
We go out on a date. That's cool.
Okay.
Don't think that just your presence alone, right, is going to want to make me go
pursue
further, right? And I say that because there's a lot of women out there that get hollered at by other people, right?
Yeah. So for me,
and this is one thing that I learned about myself, is like, show me your appreciation too.
Okay.
In other words, if I don't call, if I don't text, I don't hear from you at all, none whatsoever. How was that showing me that you're interested too? Or if I take you out on a date, you feel me? Like, I don't even get a text like, "Oh, thank you for last night. I hope to do it again." Or I don't get none of that.
Do you think that's LA culture, or do you think this just is women who don't have no home training?
I don't know. I can't specify on that. But go ahead.
Think it's LA. It's expensive to live out here. People are hustling and grinding, working, trying to sleep. Yeah, it's hard to fit in a relationship sometimes. Okay. But like those days when you're off work and you're like, "Oh man, I'm alone." You know, you didn't just pass out from working a long day. You just off, and you're just off. Yeah, it really sucks. And now, like, if I'm dating and guys come around and they call me and text me, it's weird to me. I'm like,
really?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how to act with somebody. Who
that could be the issue. Maybe they don't know how to act. You're getting a perspective because she thinks she don't know how to act, and I'm like, I don't even get the fucking response.
Wow.
Because it's so many different like levels to it. I guess it's different aspects to what that dating situation could be in LA. Because I'm just like, okay, so because I do know that the ratio of men to women in LA is like 14-1. So we're like, yes, girl, it's 14 women to every man. So we're like vying for the man. So if and also because in LA, a lot of people who are maybe different in different areas. Jen said he's too nice. A+ is a good guy.
I'm too nice. I mean,
she said you're too nice. But also, I think that because in the LA culture, people in the valley they like to do everything in the valley. People who live in the city like to do everything in the city. People don't like to leave us out of their like
the
areas.
Traffic alone will keep you out of a relationship.
So a man can really have a relationship like in the Inland Empire. He can have one in North Hollywood. He can have one in LA. He can have one in Inglewood, and they'll never run into each other.
I have relationships in different.
I'll tell all your business.
I'm single.
Okay,
so I have a big heart. So you know, I have a heart. In San Diego.
She's a heart for love.
Yeah, you know, wherever you lay your hat is your home.
That's right. I love her.
I appreciate the perspective. Sure.
Yeah. But there should be some respect. But if somebody does something, but above all the dating and something, if somebody does something nice for you, you do have to reciprocate with a thank you.
Yeah.
At minimum.
That's all I ask.
At minimum.
That's all. I'm not.
In a reply text.
But just because you are being nice and being respectful doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to get something in return. Maybe if you don't expect anything, then you won't be disappointed when you get nothing.
Well, when this individual is talking about they want to be in a relationship, then I'm like, okay, well, you got to show me more than just being present at a date, because I know that you have 20 probably other dudes.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe she wants to be in a relationship with somebody else.
No, she wants to be in a relationship with me.
Oh, she does?
Well, baby, you got to put in the footwork.
She's not doing what she needs to be doing to be in a relationship with you.
No, the footwork is there. What I'm saying is, for me to want to roll out the red carpet, to go even above and beyond, right? In which
when you express this to her, what's she say?
Her, you know, she's kind of high and mighty a little bit.
Is she listening?
Probably not. But
she not one of the friends.
We're not in a relationship. This is just somebody that I'm interested. She expressed interest as well too. But it just seems like I have to initiate it. Like her whole perspective is I don't chase guys, right? You know what I mean? The guys are chasing, and that's my thing. All I'm asking is reciprocation, or just show me your appreciation, that you appreciate me taking you out. You know
it sounds like there's more of a communication issue between you all too,
and
more
that's
so
fair
than
too.
Reciprocity, because I think that you're saying one thing, but she's hearing something totally different, and she's translating in her mind that this is how it's going to be. I'm not going to chase them and stuff like that. But it just sounds like a little bit.
I give you the communication thing too. Yeah. I mean, it could be different forms of communication, but we could talk about that the whole night. But I'm gonna let you get back to your thing.
Well, you know what, friends? If you all want to join in the conversation, please do so by giving us a call here in the studio at 310-910-9676, option 1. You can see us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also hear us live, loud, and in color, darling, on Spotify, on Spreaker, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Accelerated Radio Network, all these different outlets.
Nice.
So they'll be there forever and ever and ever. We've made what they call a carbon footprint.
I'm not sure.
Is that what it's called?
A file.
Like yes,
in the cloud.
We do also want to thank tonight's sponsor, who is Cheesecake de Granger.
Oh, did they bring some?
No, she's not here. And everybody always says that, like, where's the cheesecake? Sacha, girl, you have got some backup orders, honey. But you can, everybody can order. She also does events and stuff like that. At www.cheesecakedegranger.com. She's over 65 flavors. The cheesecake is delicious.
Where's she located?
She's located here, and she doesn't have a storefront, but they deliver throughout the Los Angeles area. So they will deliver.
So West Hollywood?
They deliver everywhere.
Ooh.
Yes, you have to look them up.
I love cheesecake.
Yes. Okay, so we have to send you some.
Yes,
we
please.
do. We must send you some. But since we're on that note, why don't we continue with our random venting? Do you have a random vent you'd like to say, darling, tonight?
Not off the top of my head right now.
Just anything.
Just random venting.
Just something random you want to go in about. Anything.
Let me think here. I can't think of anything.
You can't even think of anything?
Not off the top of my head right now.
No worries. It could just, it's just random. So let me say it. I have a random vent. My random vent is, you know what? Most times I've come to the conclusion that people don't necessarily want an apology from you. They want control. And I say that
they want you to like cower down or something.
Yes, an apology is one thing, but when somebody's going through all the lengths of just like having all this hatred and all this extra energy because they didn't hear some words come out of your mouth, and then when you do give them the words, they have to critique it. That's a part of control. Either you're going to believe and accept the response, expect the apology, or you're going to just say, never mind, I don't want it. But when someone goes, and I don't think that people always are receptive of that. They just want to be in control of, well, I need for you to, basically like you said, bow down or cower down and hear me out and not have a conversation as to why they may have done. It should be a common ground.
Not
how you doing? It should be a common ground.
Yeah.
Definitely. So that's my random man. I mean, there's just sometimes, and I think sometimes people don't want to understand you. They just want to be right about you.
Yeah. And a lot of times we don't take time to listen to the other one speak. We're thinking about what we want to say. And,
thank you.
And I'm definitely guilty of that in the past, but like I've learned to start listening a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And
question.
Well, you can learn about how maybe the other person thinks, so that you know how to deal with that situation, because we're not textbooks. Like everyone deals with things differently, and we have to put ourselves in other people's shoes in order for us to understand each other.
I think a lot of it has to do. I mean, that's why I say question, because sometimes when you don't understand something, you question. What did you mean when you said A, B, and C? Or what did you mean by, because this is how I received it. And then you get an understanding so that you can, because most times when you do that, you see that there was no offense there in the first place.
Well, too, you know what? It's the semantics of a conversation, too, that really just make it long and drawn out. Like, we just need the meat of the situation and leave all the extra details and topping. Like, that's not important. You're just embellishing something super dramatic and making it even more dramatic. Yeah. And we have to learn how to
because they want to be right.
Strip it down, simplify it, and then present it.
And you're right, I think because a lot of times people want to be right. They don't want to understand you or to be understood. They just want to be right. What? Like they don't want to have a clear, concise, conceptualized point about or understanding about what was said or what was unsaid. They just want to be right, and so you're just like, but not realizing there's no right or wrong. Because you can't really put a right or wrong on how somebody feels.
Yeah.
It's miscommunication. But when you give them the opportunity to understand that, it's like, do you want to understand it, or do you just want to come down on me? Because it takes a bold, mature individual to apologize. Some people just don't like you,
and they'll just let you run around in circles for them.
That's true too.
And you know what? I don't deal with that no more. Like, I'm cool. Like, you show me who you are, and and if it's not something that brings joy and peace to me, I'm going to remove myself from that relationship, friendship, or that space.
I just recently asked this guy to create a space between I told him, I said, I need for you to create a space between us, and I need for you to adhere to that.
Well,
he didn't like that, but whatever.
I mean, is this somebody that you like, that you're close to? He was like,
I mean, girl, that's a long story. He was kind of selfish in the sense that he wanted shit that he didn't. It was no reciprocity, just like he was saying. No reciprocity. And that could be a whole situation. But tonight's topic is out of the familiar into the unknown.
Oh.
So we're going to be talking about getting out of what's so much familiar to us, what we're not letting go of because we find comfort in it, and not stepping into the unknown that's out there awaiting us in our future. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on in the show, so I want you to stick around, friends.
I'm excited.
Yes. Also, we have a section of our show that we call the Flip and Rotate. Oh. And that is because we're on a big virtual green sofa.
Okay.
You just feel comfortable? It feel good? Good.
I'm good. I need an extra pillow.
Yes. And so most times when people are looking for something in your sofa, you kind of like flip the seat cushions.
Okay.
And you are looking for some things that you find, and you find some things you were looking for. You flip them back over and you have a new sofa again. So in that particular portion of the show, we'll be talking about a congressional hearing that's going to be conducted tomorrow, actually, by Maxine Waters here in LA. We're going to be talking about Senate Bill 1482.
Okay, what is that bill?
I'll tell you.
Okay, please.
We're going to be talking about Miss Centoya Brown, who was released last Wednesday. We're going to be talking about the Mississippi ice raid last week, and we'll be talking about something that the governor of Tanzania is going to be doing. It's very interesting. Take on society. We do want to take this time and opportunity to send our thoughts and prayers continually again to the families who were affected by the domestic terrorism, because that's what it's, terrorism. You can call it what you want to call it, but it's terrorism. That happened in Ohio and in El Paso last week. And also a couple of days ago, there was an actor from The Walking Dead. His name is Dango Nguyen. He was 48 years old. He passed away from cancer.
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't think
a lot of people that watch the show.
Yeah, I never watched. You watched it? Sacha loves it. She's not here, but she loves it.
Yeah.
But I've never watched it. But he is a person who I don't. He wasn't like one of the main characters, but he was on the show for a few episodes.
Okay.
And some other shows too. But again, friends, we do want to remind you that tonight's topic is out of the familiar into the unknown, and we do have a couple of topics to talk about in our little news section today.
Okay.
One of the topics is there is actually a straight pride parade that's supposed to be going on August the 24th. I
wonder if they're going to be welcoming and nice.
Well, absolutely not.
Are they going to have gay artists perform at the
straight pride?
Because we always have
straight people at the gay pride, and I know.
I'm like, girl,
wouldn't that be a turn? Okay. But I think that kind of defeats what they're going. But you know what? That whole scenario of people think that when you do gay pride,
that's a whole different side of privilege.
It is. But when people think about gay pride, they're thinking that people are just going around in opposition of being heterosexual, and it's not that. It's just being, because even when last month in this June we were doing our show, we talked about, because it was Pride Month, was all of June. It's like, no matter what you're proud of, if you're proud of being gay, if you're proud of being black, if you're proud of being whatever you're proud of, you don't have to be in opposition of somebody else.
There's more safe places for straight people and white people in this country. And so when people who have been suppressed and who are constantly being, suppressed, they want to celebrate themselves when they're in a group of people because it's disproportionate. It's empowering.
Yeah.
You have to have balance. You have to have a little bit of everything.
Say it. They are supposed to be having this situation on the 24th of August. They were going to have it at this park called the city of it's a park in the city of Modesto, and the park has.
Girl, ain't nobody going out there.
Okay,
Modesto.
Girl, nobody going out there.
Sorry, if you're in Modesto,
ain't nobody going out there.
I'll send my regards.
Well, the thing is, the park shut them down because they said they wouldn't give them a permit because
they tired
as hell. But they said this was basically a hate group on a national straight. I mean, it's a hate group. It's called from the National Straight Pride Coalition. That's the name of their group. And the park is like, there's some safety concerns, there's some security concerns, there's some insurance concerns. We don't even know why y'all doing this. No, thank you. So they have up until tomorrow to find a new location. Well, actually, they had up until today to acquire some permits and find a new location.
I don't know if they're going to put all that work in.
Girl.
They don't realize.
They were just being... You're not going to put that much work in because you're just doing it to be nasty.
They just want people to look at them.
That's it. But they had on letterhead, they had something that said they were welcoming of like, not necessarily, they didn't outright say white people. They just said Western civilized people. I don't know what the hell that means. They said basically men, white men, straight men, Christian, quote unquote Christian men. I mean, a hate group in a nutshell.
I mean, if your God tells you to hate people, then you need to get a new God.
Well,
because God means love to me, and love is God. And
girl, I mean, anytime you have to...
You can believe what you want to believe, but you've got to have your own common sense, too, to know.
You know, I was reading something in the back of an album cover of the... Actually, we were playing Whitney Houston earlier, and we were playing Whitney Houston because it was her birthday last week. Anybody knows who knows me knows I love Whitney Houston. That's my queen.
That's your queen.
I love her. She can do no wrong in my eyes. But she wrote in one of her on her Just Whitney CD, when people had CDs named, did thank yous in the CD, because everything's digital now. But one of the things she wrote in there, I know, I missed the artwork and all that.
I still go and buy stuff.
Me too. But one thing she wrote in her thank yous was, it's nothing wrong with getting ahead in life, as long as you're not stepping on the backs of someone else to do it.
Absolutely.
So in regards to this whole straight pride parade or whatever the case may be, if you're having to step on somebody to lift yourself up, it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, there is also something going on in California, the maternal mental health situations happening here. So they're trying to rearrange the medical coverage for women who were just pregnant and suffering from postpartum depression, because under the umbrella of mental health, there are a lot of things people say, mental health awareness and stuff like that. They don't really cover postpartum depression. It's not really something that's really talked about, because they just tell women to have a baby and get over it. They don't realize the psychological connection and disconnection of bringing life throughout the world, but they're trying to recognize it. So what they're trying to do is have insurances cover women for postpartum depression up to a year after they have given birth.
Does that mean they are out of work, or does that mean that
well, they haven't gotten really the details? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think they've gotten all the details about it, but they said that California is considering a bill in order to make this come into fruition. So what they're going to do is they're going to have doctors retrained and recertified in this area, and they're going to want the doctors to do detection of women who they feel like may suffer from this after they've given birth. And for the women who have suffered from it, they want to make sure it's covered. And last month, I want to say, Governor Gavin Newsom, who I love, his fine ass. I love our governor.
Oh, yeah?
I do, child. He's so handsome. But he's so forward thinking. He's been doing, he's been in office for like 3 minutes, girl, but he's been taking care of shit like left and right. Everything he said he was going to do, he's been doing it.
Hey,
so
we need more of that.
I know. Last month he signed a bill that expanded Medi-Cal access to mental health services for women that may be suffering from postpartum depression for a full year after they've been after birth. So I think that's awesome. Another bill is SB 652. That's also here in California.
Okay, what is that
bill?
This
bill is about preventing landlords from banning people for using, for having the religious symbols on their doorstep. Ain't that something? We're like, what the fuck are we turning into in America? It seems
we
really
want to police each other.
We want to police each other. So it was like, so it prevents landlords and condo associations. We call it the mezuzah bill, which is like a reference to a Jewish symbol.
Like they have like the little things
on their door.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells you there's a certain size, like 12 by 30. The symbol can only be no bigger than 36 by 12 inches. It cannot be something that it can't be something that hinders the door from opening or closing, and it can't be something that's threatened public health or safety. But you can use any religious symbol if you want to, because at first they were saying you couldn't. But this bill has saying that you actually can. I didn't know if you needed a bill to do that.
Religion is one thing that's really, really sensitive with a lot of people. For me, that's kind of something that like you do within yourself and in your home. Like, I don't know if you should broadcast it.
It's your business. If you want to put a cross on your door, put a cross on your door.
Yeah, absolutely.
People put flags and swastikas on their doors.
Oh my God.
If you want to put a cross on your door, if you want to put a little symbol on your door, do that. I don't have one on my door, but at Christmas time you have wreaths on this. Isn't that a sign of like holiday, or isn't that about religion in a sense?
Right, but you understand though, like when people get upset when they see like swastikas or rebel flags or whatever, things like that. And then people get upset when they see trans flags or gay flags or whatever.
But there shouldn't be someone on your door, someone telling you can't put that on your own door. This is your door, or this is your dwelling place. It's your home.
For me, I just don't like to put myself in a situation where like I can bring problems to me. And it's not that I'm afraid to fly my flags. It's more like I just like minding my own damn business. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. For me.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's just you minding your, like you said, minding your business.
But for some people, when they see certain things, they feel like they're in a safe place, depending on like how they feel or what they believe in. I have neighbors that have like little flags and stuff like that, and it makes me feel like, okay, I have different kinds of people around, and not anything that makes me feel intimidated.
Right. It's like people putting on stickers and stuff on their cars.
Yeah.
People put, on their notebooks if they're kids and stuff. Yeah. It's your freedom.
You're free to fly your own flag.
Fly your own flag.
But do it at your own, at your own risk, I guess.
Yeah. You can say it that way. I don't think it's. I guess it could go either way, but it just shouldn't be. I guess basically the moral of it is it should not be a law telling you that you can or cannot put something on your door. It's your door.
Last time I checked, America was supposed to be a place of freedom and expression, and like I said, like the thing now, I think with the TV that we watch, especially since reality TV came in and all the reality shows where there's a panel of judges judging these people like doing something great, and the whole world is like, voting them off, and we have trained ourselves to judge each other, even if we're not qualified to judge each other.
All right.
We're forced that. It's the cheapest way to make television. It's entertaining. There's more stars than ever. Like it used to be like you had to really work and like prove yourself to be in that spot, and
now it's just willy-nilly.
Okay. The whole judging show.
That's interesting. You have that point of view coming from a background.
Yeah, I was on a reality TV show, and
we can't wait to talk about that. It's gonna be so great. But go ahead.
And it's fun when you're competing, but when you're at home watching a show that maybe you're not super qualified to be judging, you can just have your opinion on it. Everyone goes to social media now, and they will tell you that they don't like this about you or that about you, but you ain't supposed to like everything about me,
right?
Right. But at least
it's not for you.
No, but if you
don't like what I'm serving, don't eat it.
Pick what you like and just stick with that. But I don't want to hear like what you don't like, because I didn't ask you.
What there's a difference in people because people feel like this. If you put it out there on social media, then you're putting it out there for them to judge it.
No,
if you post a picture on something, that's what I'm saying. People feel like if you put something on, like if you post, even if it's your own, you post something out there, you're putting out there. It's up for ridicule. It's up there for judgment. It's up there for people's opinion and commentary.
I'm there.
So they're like, if you put it up there then that means that you're putting it up there for that. I'm sorry, but. Which is okay. I'm okay with that. But it's the manner in which you say it.
I like, for my fans and followers and friends or whatever who follow me on social media, when I post things out of love and things that inspire me.
Right.
And I just want my social media to be a place of love and acceptance. And,
like at PLOPP.
Okay. Like, if you throw some love my way, but I don't want to hear your negative opinion about me, especially if you don't even know who I am.
Especially when or taking the time to try to get to know who you are.
Some people they just want your attention so bad that they will make up anything.
Yeah, to
even
get you
if
to
it's
respond.
so hurtful, just to get some acknowledgement. And
that's all.
Girl.
And as long as you don't say anything about it, then it's nothing. The minute you respond to them, now you've shined a light on them. That's why if you notice some people, like if you look at a Beyonce, she don't comment on shit. She don't reply. She don't follow nobody either.
She ain't got time to.
She follows no one. Hey. But she just, there's a lot of celebrities out there who just do that, what they call, like even some of this blog sites, comment creeping. And it's just like, why are you responding to people who really don't mean shit, really? Or a lot of people, when I say don't mean nothing, a lot of them are hiding behind a fake ass profile
with a cat
just to be mean.
Yeah. No, and you know what?
You can't give them life.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like somebody that's close to us.
Well, people have troll accounts, honey.
Honey.
Well, another thing, another person who's been trolling girls is Jeffrey Epstein, honey. That's one thing that's been one of them. Child. Well, you know what? He's no longer doing any of those things because he has passed away. Well, he has committed suicide, they're saying. Do you
believe that, or do you believe he faked his death?
Well, girl, let me tell you what I believe.
I heard that he might have faked his death because he's got that kind of money.
Well, let me tell you something. I'll say this. In case some of the friends who are not aware of who Mr. Epstein is, who he was.
He's homeboys with Donald Trump.
He's right. He was a person. Let me see. I'm gonna read off from my little cheat sheet. He was a multimillionaire financier who was a registered sex offender, and he had allegedly a sex trafficking ring and rape of underage girls for him and other people from 2002 to 2005 in New York City and in Florida. He was facing 45 years because of these charges. Now, some years ago, he got off with a low hand because he was friends. He had low friends in high places. Understand that, but he recently, this past Saturday, he's been locked up for about a month, since July. Well, not even almost a month. And on last Friday, they unsealed some documents in the court, hundreds of pages of documents.
Come on.
That he was. They did that on Friday. On Saturday morning, about 6:30, he was found hanging from his cell.
Do you believe?
Now check this out. In July last month, they said that they went to see him. He was on suicide watch, and they took him off last month. He had some marks around his neck. One of the police officers said he had some marks around his neck, so they put him on suicide watch. But when he showed up for court, there was nothing on his neck. So I don't know what that was about.
Girl, but they
said they found him in the cell. And they tried to do some life-saving measures. Didn't work. Took him to the hospital and pronounced him dead. Now, he was in the cell, supposedly with cameras on the cell. Where's the footage?
Where's the footage? And where are the people watching him?
Where are the guards who were supposedly watching him? Now, I don't know if he faked his death or not, but... It's definitely fishy.
He's got low friends in high places.
He's got low friends in high places because they said he was apparent suicide. There was no foul play. But the New York medical examiner has said, we're not saying that it was suicide.
Because maybe he's still alive.
Girl, I don't know. But I do know that U.S. Attorney Barr says he's appalled and he's quote unquote determined to get to the bottom of it. Now she ready to get to the bottom of that, but she can't get to the bottom of this.
I want the truth out.
Girl. But I'm trying to figure out why Barr can't get to the bottom of this obstruction of justice charges that Donald Trump had. Get to the bottom of something that means something. How you gonna get to the bottom of this man? What are you getting to the bottom of? If this man committed suicide and was a parent, what is there to get to the bottom of? Unless there's some flying that milk, which I think it is. I mean, because they said it was hundreds of pages of new and I believe damning evidence. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't only against him; it was against him and his associates. And some of his I'm gonna tell you some of his associates were 45, Bill Clinton, Leslie Wexler, Prince Andrew. These are his friends, his good friends. Now I don't know if they're in these pages, but that's quite odd.
Girl, they all roll together, honey.
Thank you. And there's footage of him with these people.
The good old boys.
There's footage of him and these people, and I just don't believe that. If he did commit suicide, then I mean, he's gone. He ain't here no longer. And I know some people want to take, and I'm being as sensitive as possible, right, because of life. But people have a tendency to give a sainthood to people who die. Just because you died don't mean you still wasn't shit. Okay. Like you were disgusting. Right. You dead now, so God give you, hopefully you can get that on the judgment. Y'all at the pearly gates, he discussing things with you that unbeknownst to us. But that don't make you holy all of a sudden because you dead. But if he did not fake his death, I believe it was some orchestration here, because they did say that even though criminal charges are not obviously going to be pressed up against him, these people who are suing him, these ladies, young girls who are suing him, can still sue his estate for money. They have said that they have not been able to quantify his coins, meaning they don't know how much money he's got. They just said at minimum he's a multimillionaire.
Well, I'm going to need my money.
Girl. And also I think that they said that because there are lots of other people named, some of his employees and some of his associates are named in these pages, charges could still go against them. And I think that's what William Barr wanted to get to the bottom of. Because I think he want to make sure his friend ain't up in there. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Come on, Mona. Mona said he was murdered to cover his low friends. You better say that. I believe it.
There's something.
I believe it. That wasn't just he didn't just hang himself like that. I don't believe that.
They're like, you're going down anyway, so.
Well, I mean, he ain't going down nowhere unless he's going down to hell. But I mean, he's through. But but they could still get some civil charges against him just against the state to get money. But I don't know. That's kind of odd.
Do you feel like when people get compensated with money for something very tragic that happened in their life, do you feel like it makes everything better?
No. I think it's the down payment on making things better.
Right. At least
I think it's a deposit.
Some of my power back.
I mean, because of what he was doing. I mean, what they claimed for him to have been doing was sex trafficking, rape. One girl said she was raped for days and things of this nature, and selling girls and having something. These were like 13 and 14 and 15-year-old girls that he was getting massages from. Him and his friends. Okay. Yeah, girl.
You can't find
and so they probably they wasn't really getting nothing. So maybe they feel like I need my back pay.
Because they're old, ugly men who can't get nothing.
But a lot of that has to do with the sickness and the power that we just. A sickness that they, and the power because of the money. They just feel like they can. Once you have so much money, you've bought everything. You then start to buy weird shit or do weird shit like buy people.
That generation of people,
you start doing because you don't know what else to buy.
They've seen slavery and all that stuff, Yeah. So they're used to seeing people have ownership
of other people,
wives and their children, and you have to,
because he wasn't married. I don't believe he was married.
No, but they, I mean, I was born in '83, so I kind of was brought up a little bit around a woman's role is this, and she's the lesser of the two, and
this is true.
I don't know. I always just thought my mom was strong, like a strong woman.
Because she is. Every woman is strong if they're still here today and made it through all that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little song break. We're going to hear something from Miss KYLIE Sonique Love. She's going to hear one of her songs. What do you want to hear, darling? And then we're going to come back and have a good old interview and talk to Miss KYLIE Sonique Love, honey. And we're going to just get on to her little business and things. She's given us full force and full permission to just delve on in. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
What song do you want? Would you like the wonderful A+ to play?
Should we start off with some chill, or do we want to?
We can start off whatever. We can go whatever direction you want to, baby. You running this.
We'll start with "Hey Hater" Part 2, which is a B-side to my my singles that came out in April. I did 2 songs. I did one called "Hey Hater" that I wrote in 15 minutes, like 5 years ago. Yeah. And I went to the studio like a few months ago and finally recorded it. And then when I was doing that, I got inspired to write "Hey Hater" Part 2, which is kind of like the up-to-date reprise version of "Hey Hater." So yeah, and it's pretty self-explanatory. This particular track is basically talking to people about like why people are haters.
Okay. Well, here it is. "Hey Hater" Part 2. Hey friends. They're not haters. Hey friends. Yes. Hey friends, we're back. That was "Hey Hater" Part 2 by the wonderful, beautiful, lovely, talented showgirl songwriter, model, actress KYLIE Sonique Love.
Oh, thank you.
I'm presenting you, darling.
You can get that song on iTunes or Apple Music or Spotify or Amazon. It's available.
I love it. Today we're talking to you, darling. It's all about you today.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
So we're plopping down now. And we're going to be talking to this wonderful lady right about now. So when did we go from Sonique to KYLIE Sonique?
Okay, so
and
for
why?
Anybody who doesn't know me, I started out, I am transgender.
Hey.
Not that it matters.
Welcome to the club.
But for this story to make sense, that detail does matter a little bit. So I was born in Albany, Georgia, small town. I started performing as a drag performer. Before transitioning. I started out as a drag performer, and I went by the stage name of Just Sonique.
It was just Sonique.
It was just Sonique.
Oh, was it just Sonique, or were you
Sonique?
Okay, got it.
And I always I
wish I could be here. She's so gorgeous.
You're so sweet. You are. You're crazy. So yeah. Fast forward to 2009, I started my transition, and I never really thought about like what I wanted to call myself, but I just wanted to be myself. I wanted to recognize myself, you know, like I felt me with my eyes closed, but when I opened them, I didn't see the same person.
Right. So how long did you feel that way? Was it before you started performing?
I think more so it started when I first started school. Whenever you start
high school, middle school,
elementary school.
Okay.
Because everyone's children are brought up differently. So when you do something that's kind of out of the ordinary to them, they'll call you out on it or pick on you or whatever. Right. I would color my fingernails purple. I just always was super feminine naturally. It wasn't that like I wanted to be like, but I just naturally was like.
You gravitated towards those things.
Yeah, and I didn't think anything of it, but then, just getting picked on, it just continually got worse. But then whenever your body starts going through puberty, and you're like, oh my God, what's happening to me?
Hello, I'm turning and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Jen is like, she's beautiful. She is, girl. And you're just seeing on the screen. I'm looking at her face. Gorgeous.
It was heartbreaking and terrifying going through puberty and being like, oh my God, like what am I gonna turn into?
Right. It's scary. It's from the familiar to the unknown.
Okay, but luckily, with science and medicine, we can cure cancer, and we have we have preventions to save us from deadly diseases and everything like that.
Right.
And luckily, we have doctors who are educated in transgender needs. And,
right.
I feel very blessed that I live in a time where I'm able to fix those things if I can.
How did you get onto Drag Race? If you all don't know that she was on Drag, would you tell them your season?
I was season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race, one of the OG seasons.
Yes. It was new still, even then.
It was I auditioned for the first one. I heard they had drawn casting, went around the country looking for drag talent, and they stopped in Atlanta. I was living in Atlanta at the time, and they gave me their card. They were like, RuPaul's getting ready to do a show. We would love to for you to audition for it.
Okay.
And I did, and they called me back. And I was pretty sure I was going to be on season 1. I put so much work into it and everything. But they called and told me that I was an alternate for the season to just kind of have my stuff packed just in case.
Okay.
But they said, if we don't have you on it, we're definitely going to put you on the second one. And I told them, I was like, look, I identify as transgender. I haven't physically.
Oh, you said that before you even started.
Yes.
Because that's a totally different everything. Because I think the world thought that you did this. Oh, and you did it after your season. That's very interesting. But I always said, you're a legendary girl because you're the first girl to ever do that, to come back and just be a full woman. And every girl, there's a few girls who've tried it afterwards, like Miss Peppermint, all the other girls have come through and be like, I'm a woman now, but which I think that if they out there listening, they ought to just do a show with the girls on there. I mean, what the fuck is the problem? But anyway, so you told them going into it, so it was no surprise.
I told them during the casting, I was like, look, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, because I did know that they were not looking for trans drag performers.
Right, they were not.
It was specific that they just wanted, male to female.
Right. To see the difference, contrast.
Yeah. And it was a new show, too. So it's like, how are we going to explain everything in one season?
One season, right. Which makes sense.
So I was like, okay, I was like, all right, well, then hit me up for season 2 just in case. But, so when a year came around and everything, I remember watching the final episode of season 1. And something, I don't know, it hit me. And I said, I'm going to be on this show next year.
Really?
I knew it. I already knew. I had dreams about it. And that moment when I seen the TV, I was like, oh, I'm going to be on it. And they called me. And at first ready. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it, because I'm like, I got into a relationship. He was super supportive of me transitioning. And so I was just kind of more set on, I had a crutch. I had somebody who was supporting my transition.
Okay.
And I was like, I know they don't want you to be living as a girl to be on the show. But anyway, they were like, look, if you haven't had any surgeries done, we would love to have you on the show.
Right. But now all the girls on there come up there surged up, honey. I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
Okay.
But anyway.
Boys too,
right.
Honey.
That's what I'm talking about.
There's been boys on that show that have more done than most transsexuals that I know.
Thank you. But anyway, go ahead. They have, girl.
Okay.
You just be like, now, they said...
Yeah,
but okay.
So at first I told them I didn't think I was gonna do it, and they asked me again, and I was like, I don't want to make another tape. They're like, just send something. We need an up-to-date version. So I threw it together. They put me on the show. I was going through a lot too.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks like it's hard to do.
I came off of hormones because I wanted to do the right thing.
You stopped taking them?
I did.
For any of people who do not know, who are not aware, any of the friends who are listening or watching, and your doctors will tell you, when you take the hormones, it's basically you're just adding estrogen and trying to take those blockers to get the testosterone out. When you stop taking them, that testosterone comes back like a full force, 10 times worse.
It comes back.
With the vengeance.
Your body
it's like pushing it. It feels like it's a deficiency.
It's trying to make up.
Wrong. Right. Yeah. So that must have been hard.
I didn't realize, because
even the mental.
Yeah. Oh, that's where it was really hard. It's because I knew I was being filmed to portray more of a male character for the show, and I knew that by the time it actually aired, which would have been 9 months or whatever, I was going to be in a whole different place in my life, and that was the most.
Because we came back to the reunion.
Okay.
I was like, okay, because I've watched that show since season 1, and I love it. And since when on your season, it did look like something was weighing on you. I feel like if you weren't having to think about that so much, then I think that you would have won that season. But I think that because you were going, the mental part of because you weren't able to just compete.
Yeah.
They were there able to just compete. You were competing with everything else on your mind.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, that had been my second plane ride that I ever took. I flew to the other side of the country. You're not supposed to tell anybody where you're at. They take your phone from you. I'm dealing with this. I've never been on TV like this before, so there's so many.
Your whole life is out there.
That's overwhelming for me. Wow. I have this defense mechanism. Like, my defense mechanism is to just be tough,
I think that's
and sassy. And that's something I learned in Atlanta, and
to protect,
and I was there with a whole bunch of people that wanted the same thing I wanted. They wanted that money. I knew that money was going to change my life, and I could buy these surgeries that were so expensive. They still are, and I had a lot riding on it, and I just don't think that I was the story that they wanted to tell at the time.
Okay,
so, and I really wasn't giving them as much TV as they wanted. Like, I was killing it on the runway. I was killing it in the challenges. But they have to
make a show.
They have to make a show, and they have to justify why they send you home.
Yeah.
So maybe, because I didn't have those interaction moments with somebody, they just picked the few things that I had with people and made it look like maybe I was bitchy, and
cut and paste.
Yeah, because I was kind of I mind my own business. Occasionally I would talk to the girls, but ultimately I was just trying to be focused, And
they don't want because again, it's a show. Like the drag part of it and the show part of it and the glitz is one thing, but they want some sort of backstory. They want some sort of show. They want something that they can kind of
juicy. They need meat. And they need it to be juicy. And
you're like, girl, I'm living my life.
Now I know. Now when I go on TV, it's like, bitch, we are making a TV show. So,
well, you know what? You don't know what you don't know. Now you do know.
Reality TV is supposed to portray reality, but it's not.
We always have talked about reality TV, don't we, April? It's like we know it's not real.
It's there are
real
social
moments. Media. There are real moments. Like in social media, there are real moments on social media, but it's not real everyday life.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a show. It's being produced. It's a show.
You got to embellish the situation. They're gonna squeeze 3 days of filming into 42 minutes on a show. Girl, you're there to make a legacy for yourself. You're there to sell a T-shirt, to sell your brand or whatever. Yeah. And now I know that. I didn't know that before. I was just a little country thing, not knowing. Yeah,
and do you keep in touch with any of the girls from any of your seasons? From your season?
Most of them I do. I'd actually, I'm pretty close with all the girls from my season.
What has been one of the most fabulous things that you could have never dreamed of that as a result from being on that show, RuPaul's Drag Race?
Not only
because you've done some wonderful things.
Thank you. Not only having that liberation of coming out as a trans woman, on a show that is now one of the highest rated television shows,
Emmy award winning on a because it was on Logo, now it's on VH1.
I feel really proud to be a part of that ripple effect. I feel really blessed to get that opportunity to share that moment, even though it might not have been my most comfortable moment. But
you're still part of your legacy.
It's part of my journey, and it was the kick in the ass that I needed to go through with the transition, because I was like, well, I can't let everybody down, because I was so nervous about transitioning. Like, can I pull this off?
She's pulled it off, guys.
But you know what I mean?
She's done it.
It's like,
she's done it.
It's, I don't know. And then I'm just happy to still be a part of the franchise and working with them. I've I've come back and been on different episodes from different seasons.
You have.
I did a Christmas special.
You did.
It was so much fun, and it kind of like I got to reintroduce myself.
Mm-hmm.
They showed enough of me to keep people interested,
right?
But not enough for people to have an opinion, which was good. Like
that's a good balance.
They gave me really good like shots. They showed me in like really good angles that were very flattering to me.
She don't got no bad angles, y'all. Stop, don't let her do that.
Oh my God, you're nice.
Don't let her do that. She don't have no bad angles.
I'm not good at compliments. No, like they really took care of me, and it made me feel much better doing the Christmas episode than my season, because I felt like this is what I wanted it to be. I wanted it. I wanted this to be a great experience watching it back. When I looked back at it, it wasn't the same thing that I experienced. So it was like watching like somebody tell your story differently and they fucking it up.
How was it being around RuPaul?
I love RuPaul. I've always been a fan of RuPaul since like
forever.
Supermodel.
We're from the same place in San Diego. RuPaul went to high school with my mom and my aunts.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Who is your mom and your aunt?
They're not famous.
Well, Ru might know them, but they went to school together.
They went to school. They actually have yearbooks because, in high school, RuPaul won Best Afro. And that child is bald-headed now, but RuPaul, mother had an afro, beautiful afro.
Nice.
Too. Yes.
How awesome is that? You know, it's so crazy. I think about that too. Like, what about the people that I went to school with? What if they're like looking in the yearbook? And
right.
Like, oh my God.
This is her right here.
Before.
It happens, but that's okay though.
And I didn't have a lot of friends in school, so I wonder how many people pretend like we were friends.
Right. And that's something.
I had a lot of people from my school and my childhood like hit me up once they kind of like, I guess they searched the dark web to find me, little old me. There's like not a trace of like a lot of the stuff from before, which is good because all the internet stuff started happening more like.
I did so much in school.
MySpace took care of like my old life. Yes. I don't know what happened to my old MySpace account. I looked for it everywhere, but I couldn't find it. Anyway,
MySpace is gone.
I think.
Okay, so when did you start transitioning over to musician, or did you always sing?
Okay, so that's funny. When I got on Drag Race, is when I first started writing songs and been interested. Because I know
she always wants the girls to sing, do some sort of live singing talents. What they call it on
competition?
Competition on the show. It's always a live singing portion.
For the challenges and all that stuff. I didn't get to do it on my season, which was a bummer. I started writing songs whenever I got on the show because I was dealing with a lot of hate from people in my own community and my own like friends, and people just kind of pushing you away because like you got an opportunity
that they didn't get
and like people can't be happy for you. So I didn't want to go online and start writing all my business out, so I was like, just write it. And I started. The first song I wrote was called Tranny Teaser. I can't release it right now because I'm in so much trouble from the transgender community. Oh my God, I'm reading the sock titties off of some of these cross
girl.
Honey,
I love her.
I'm telling you, I let them have it. I was like, KYLIE, like, because it's still on my computer, and I ran across it the other day. I'm gonna keep it. I would love to. One day. But I wrote it 10 years ago, and it was a different time then. We could say that. So,
right. Now it's like everybody gets offended and everything, and everybody has a right and a group and a hashtag to speak up against it. So I understand, girl. I do understand. So you have an EP coming out?
It's not an official EP.
Okay.
So
are you signed to anyone?
I'm not signed to anyone.
Okay.
I'm doing everything independently.
Come on, girl. There's power in that. I know it's expensive as hell.
It's so expensive. The first song I did a Christmas song actually I didn't mention. But whenever the Christmas episode came out, I released my first song ever because I figured since that was a way for me to reintroduce myself on Drag Race. I should introduce myself as a singer. Yes. And my friend Wendy Ho, she wrote an original Christmas song called Santa Please Come Home. And if you like Christmas music,
I do.
But you're a naughty little girl,
I am.
You're going to like this song. This song is about me as Mrs. Claus, like missing Mr. Claus.
That's cute. Because he's gone all night delivering toys and gifts.
She's like, I can't wait for you to come home and unwrap me, honey.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Where can they find Santa Please Come Home?
You can find it on iTunes.
Okay.
And Apple and.
So when they search for these different platforms, do they search Sonique or do they search KYLIE Love?
Okay, so whenever we put that song out, we did. Oh, will you hand me that real quick? When we put Santa Please Come Home, we did. Hold on, let me get this going.
Go ahead.
We got it. Okay, sorry. We're back. Okay, what were you saying?
We were talking about how do they find it? Do they search Sonique or KYLIE?
KYLIE Sonique Love. Oh, the Christmas song's under Sonique.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was an issue. There's a DJ called Sonique from Europe, and so I was like, you know what? That's her name. She worked hard for it. I respect her. My name actually came from her. Let me just reintroduce myself as KYLIE Sonique Love. That's my name. I don't want to take someone else's. It'd be like if my stage name was Madonna. Like, bitch, if you're trying to take it to the next level, you got to be your own.
Yeah, that's just true. But that happened to Biggie Smalls. That's why he went to Notorious B.I.G. because Biggie Smalls was somebody else's name already. But anyway,
wow.
Yeah. But that's why he had started using Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
But yes,
I've been doing a lot of covers lately.
Okay.
So I started putting out music back in December when the Christmas episode aired, and and I just started writing music and producing music, and I love it. It makes me feel really good. I feel awkward now lip syncing on stage.
I know, because you're like, I can sing.
I have things.
But singers do lip sync.
Yes, they do. And I mentioned to you earlier that I talked to a psychic medium, which kind of really changed a lot. Yeah. But should we talk about that later?
We can talk about that now. What is the psychic medium talk to you? Yeah.
Okay, so I got asked by World of Wonder to meet with the psychic medium.
World of Wonder is the production company for RuPaul's Drag Race, correct?
Absolutely.
Just in case they don't know. Go ahead.
Yes, and I guess I can talk about this. I don't know. I won't go into.
Don't get in trouble if you can't talk about it. But we love to.
I don't think I will. I don't even know if they even posted it. I got paid for it. I don't know if they posted it. Anyway, I met with this lady. She's a psychic medium. Her name's Shar. I never met with anybody like that before, but it came in a time in my life where I was looking for answers, looking for new questions, trying to I felt really lost. So I was in a very vulnerable place, but also very kind of had a wall up. And they told me, oh, you got to be very open when you come here and keep your mind open and really think about people who you're close with that may have passed away and stuff like that. And I went in and all my thoughts and everything were all over the place. And I remember just sitting there and just going with it and allowing her to do what she does. And I didn't want it to be like one of those things where they keep guessing until you're like, oh yeah. But it wasn't like that at all.
I was going to ask you that because I'm like, most times people give the answer because they'll be guessing.
They
just guess.
And they'll
life instances that everyone goes through till you acknowledge it. Exactly. That wasn't the case.
This was not the case. Okay. And this is what really made me believe. She spelled out my grandma's name. She didn't know my grandma. This woman doesn't know me. Nobody knows,
Wow.
And it was crazy. She tried to come through. I didn't realize it was my grandma until after the thing was over with. But other people started coming in. And my stepmother, she was super abusive to me, and she passed away. And
she came through.
The Shar asked me. She's like, something about a bathtub, and I know what she's talking about.
No one else does.
And
you never spoke to anybody.
This is when it really got crazy, and I could just feel uncontrollable tears, almost like sweat tears comes out. It's weird. Oh my God, this is the closest thing to God right now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm communicating.
And I'm getting to because I'm like, I told my best friend about a psychic I was supposed to go see, but go ahead, girl.
Yeah, so she told me all this stuff, and that my stepmom was, when she died, she didn't go to a good place, and that she's trying to work her way back up. Like, she was in, like, what do they call it? Purgatory. And she was trying to work her way back up in the spirit world, you know, because she was not a good person. She didn't go to a good place when she died. And that she wanted to apologize to me because my stepmom tried to kill me like a couple times. Yes, and
she was really an evil stepmother.
Yeah,
like Cinderella
for sure. I was a child.
I mean, not to make light of it, but goodness, I mean,
there's way more to it than that. I mean, you know, but she told me that I have to tell my story, and that's why I'm here. I'm here telling my story.
You are. And it's so amazing how things come into light because we met through a mutual friend, Brandon. Yes. And the crazy part about it is he didn't have any idea. No one else had any idea. But this moment was manifested because I had thought about you.
Really?
Way before you thought. Yes. I have been thinking, for like weeks.
That's so crazy.
And I was like, I never came to your page and I did. And it was funny when you were telling me before we got on the show, you were telling me that you went to a psychic medium and she was telling me about your story and the things that you were going to do because even then, in my thoughts about you, I'm like, something is very unique and different and special about you and something that you're going to do. And on a universal level.
Yeah.
On a universal level. That's something that was given to me by God for you. And he allowed this moment to be orchestrated for you to get here, for me to say this out your mouth. Not type it to you, not text it to you, but to tell you in your eyes. Mm-hmm. That's what it was. And I'm not a medium or a psychic. I'm just
a little
brown girl with a show, honey, with my best friend. But he did.
She told me
that. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you telling me that. That means a lot. Mm-hmm. I get really, really shy when people talk to me and say nice things to me. But she told me, she said, you don't have a passport, you need to get a passport immediately. Mm-hmm. She says, I see you in New York, I see you in Vegas, I see you going around the world.
Yeah.
You're going to be huge. You need to make sure you have people around you. She gave me specific initials.
And
everybody that has been trying, like she said, M and B. She kept saying that. My agent's name is Michael Benedetti.
Really?
Brandon.
Right.
And then my friend Mike Bayer. So all three men have come into my life who have been very helpful when I started this whole, once I started following her.
Taking it to the next level of your life.
And these people were coming in my world, and it was just like, oh my God, everything's falling into place. And Brandon believes in my music. Mm-hmm. Michael believes in my music. Mm-hmm. And Mike Bayer, he's just been super sweet and has good energy. So
you need all of that.
She told me I need to be telling my story, so I'm telling my story. And I'm gonna
Somebody's waiting to hear it. And that's so funny because it's something that I wrote down on one of my notes for the topic for tonight. Somebody is waiting for your struggle in order to be free.
They need,
Somebody's waiting to hear what you have to say.
There's power in that.
It is, because we don't realize when we go through things ourselves, it's not for us or about us, it's about somebody else.
It's to make it easier for someone else, or to make someone not feel alone.
Mm-hmm. We think that because we think that somebody else is.
It doesn't have to be somebody, for me, it wasn't somebody who was transgender that was my spark of not feeling alone as a kid. It was the singer Pink. I remember in high school when Pink came out, she had the short pink hair, she looked very androgynous. She was kind of butchy, but feminine. You didn't know, if she was black or white or whatever. And I just felt so confused about myself. And she was the only person that I really felt connected with. So I wanted to learn so much about her. I would read all her interviews, and I was like, oh my God, we have so much in common. She was a gymnast. She ran away from home. She dropped out of school. She likes to sing. She was gymnast, a dance. Yeah, I mean, everything. I was like, oh my God, this is like my big sister, like my mentor. So like through her albums and watching interviews or reading interviews about her, I feel super close with her because there's so much there that I relate with, and she's been like my favorite person forever.
You know what's so funny? Because I've never even this is amazing. Because I'm like, we supposed to go to something else, but girl, she is an authentic, genuine person. Do you know Miss Alicia, that's her name? Before one of my good girlfriends, one of my close girlfriends from high school, Nikki, used to work at LaFace, and when she was signed, Alicia slept on our sofa. I know her.
Oh, really?
She's a great person.
That's so crazy. She wrote her name on my arm at one of her shows, and I got it tattooed.
She is. That is. This, you see how this world goes.
Let me tell you what happened.
That is crazy. She sure did. She's sleeping on herself.
The universe has brought her and I together a few times. It's so crazy. I got asked to go to New York to film with Andy Cohen for Bravo, Watch What Happens Live, and she was a special guest, and they wanted like 3 drag performers to do a different era of Pink, and I did Lady Marmalade, and I went and like she crowned me. She put a crown on me, gave me flowers. I never won nothing ever, and my queen
gave it to you.
What I feel like my big sister, my mentor, she doesn't know this because I didn't want to be all crazy about it. But like that was like, yes, RuPaul didn't give me that money, and yes, RuPaul didn't keep me on the show and crown me America's Next Dress Superstar. But my inspiration did that to me. But that door was open because of that. And they just keep opening. And there's other doors and windows and ceilings that are going to come off for you, because of this one thing. I didn't say much to her, but you know, because I didn't want to fuck it up. I didn't want her to think I'm crazy or whatever because I'm dressed like her. I don't want her to think that. I was like, look, I know.
you want to think you a single white female? Like, oh my God, I'm going to be you.
Exactly. I was very like, look, I know I don't look like you. I'm not trying to be you, but you have inspired me to be myself. And this is like an appreciation to you. I said, girl, you have kept the lights on for me. And that... It was like she was listening to me at first, but when I said you keep the lights on for me, it was like it clicked. And she was like, "Oh, I see you."
Right.
Like she got it.
That's her.
I spoke to her.
That's Miss Alicia.
I spoke her language, and it was like, of course I speak your language, girl. Like you taught me everything I know.
You taught me everything I know. Isn't that something? Oh my God. So what is the next thing that you're working on?
I'm working on releasing more music. I've been putting out a lot of covers just to kind of keep the people that are interested in my music out there and kind of give them an idea of like what my sound is, because I kind of throw my own little spin on it. Yesterday I just wrote 2 songs. I woke up out of the bed and was like, okay, I'm writing songs today.
Hey, and you brought us one of those songs. Can we hear? Let's hear one of those songs that you just brought us for today. Tell the friends out there what song we're going to hear now that she wrote in 15 minutes. Smart. You like Jay-Z. Jay-Z don't even, he just like boom, get into the booth and just spit it.
It's crazy.
That is a songwriter.
I can hear a song and then start writing. Whatever that song makes,
like
whatever
Mariah
that music makes me feel, I start writing for it. This song, are we going to do Girls with Dixie?
Girls with Dixie.
Okay, so this is a rough draft. This is not the final, but this is what I did on my computer yesterday. I want to share a little bit of it with you guys.
And she's blessing us with it.
It's called Girls with Dixie. It's got a country vibe to it, but I just really wanted to say Girls with Dicks.
But it's okay.
There's a play on words. But I'm from the South, so Dixie.
You Girls say Dixie. That's cute.
You gotta be smart.
You have to be smart.
I mean, it's not a vulgar song, but like, it's kind of like, I can't wait till my dad turns on the radio and has to hear me.
Right, he'll be like, okay.
That's my goal, because me and my dad don't talk. We haven't talked in a real long time, and he was never ever supportive of anything that I did. And I just want to I know he listens to country music. I just want to put out a fucking country song, and my dad can't turn off the radio, like turn on any radio station without hearing me sing it. Like that is my.
He's gonna hear you. Y'all gonna talk one way or another. I love it. Hey. Here we are, y'all. Here we are, friends. The Girls with Dixie. I love it. That's cute.
Might as well freestyle right here.
Go to freestyle. Go ahead.
Oh, me?
20 seconds.
I haven't written it down yet.
Just do a freestyle.
I'm not freestyling.
Why not?
I'm not trying to embarrass myself.
You're not going to embarrass yourself.
Because I started it and it was like saddle up, better giddy up, something like that.
Okay.
But I have to write it down because I'm dyslexic, so I can think of a million things at one time. So it's safe for me to write it down.
I understand.
I ain't trying to freestyle. I mean,
you don't have to.
I know. I know my strengths.
Come on,
and my
girl,
weaknesses.
because I wouldn't even start none of it. So I know mine.
That song is fun, right?
That was very fun. That was the very lovely KYLIE Sonique Love with Girls with the Dixie. And that can mean whatever you want out there, guys. Okay. You know, it's so funny because we were talking last week about, this Valentina Samboa. I can't say her last name. She's a Brazilian model. She's going to be
the first trans woman as a
Victoria's Secret model, right? And we were talking about how one of the chief marketing execs was just like when he did an interview with Vogue. He was like they were getting a lot of flack about having a trans model, and he was like Victoria's Secret is about selling fantasy, and they didn't want to have a trans model. I was like,
we are the ultimate fantasy.
Right? We were like, what the fuck do you think this is about? But anyway, they found us about girls with Dixie.
They call us unicorns.
Unicorns.
Yes.
Magical unicorn with magical, mystical healing powers.
Okay.
In case you all didn't know. But that was that. We're going to get into a little bit of flip and rotate, just a little tinge, before we go into our topic for the night. And one of the flip and rotate. Well, do you know what? I'll start with this one. Miss Centoya Brown was released last Wednesday. And for those of you all who don't know who that is, she was. That's our pillow. You hear that?
That's the pillow?
You hear that? Okay. We're cleaning off the pillows.
Okay.
We're cleaning off the sofa, y'all. It's time to flip and rotate. We're going to clean some of these issues up a little bit. We're going to try to give the best advice we can for the world. And flip and rotate.
I'm ready.
Clean it all up. But you know what? Centoya Brown has already flipped and rotated her life. And I'll say that because a lot of people don't know who she is. She is a young lady who was 16 years old. She was sold, she was pimped by she had a pimp, so she was 16. She's basically out there sold for sex, and she met up with this potential John or client or trick or whatever you want to call him. And she said she got in there, she was already feeling a certain kind of way, and she got up in there, she saw a gun, and she said she was with him, and she saw him reaching under his bed. She thought she was going to die. She thought he was going to kill her, so she got reaching her purse and she shot him and killed him first. And so she got she was convicted of first degree murder, first degree felony murder, and aggravated robbery, because when she was over, she took his wallet.
Yeah.
They were like, when you went in there, they were trying to say she went in there to rob him because she took his wallet. I'm like, she's a prostitute. She's got money. I mean, she wasn't going there to rob this man.
No, she was going to do her
job. Not only that, but she was 16 years old and she just got through getting beat by her pimp, and she was 16, thrown into this life. Anyway,
Kim Kardashian helped her.
No, Kim Kardashian did not.
I thought she helped her get out of there.
She did not help her do that.
I'm wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Kim Kardashian is, but she didn't do that. She was in prison, and she had been in jail. She'd been in jail for like 15 years. But when she got convicted, she got sentenced to life.
Right.
And she had been in jail for 15 years, and but she wasn't supposed to be eligible for parole until she'd done at least 51 years. But the governor granted her clemency. Okay. A lot of celebrities got behind her and was posting and talking about how they needed to free her. They granted her clemency. While in jail, she did get married. She did get 2 degrees, and she now works with the juvenile justice system in Tennessee. So she has flipped and rotated that whole situation.
Absolutely.
She has. And you know what? She also has a documentary coming out called Me Facing Life, the Centoya Story. So that'll be a documentary. I don't know if it's out already, if it will be coming out. But yeah, she was in jail for 15 years, and I just was like, all of it was a miscarriage of justice. I mean,
that's crazy.
It is crazy.
She's lucky that she lived through that.
She is. And a lot of people who don't know, I don't personally know the prostitution lifestyle. I do have enough friends who, I know we're prostitutes, have been and still are. But a lot of people don't understand in that life is you have to, if you feel like you're going to get got, you better get them first.
Yeah.
And especially and being that as though at the time she was 16 years old, she probably didn't know enough to not kill him or to hurt him or to just get out of there. She just knew to shoot.
Right.
And he died.
She went with her gut, and you have to. You have to always trust your gut.
And we could have been reading years ago about how he killed her.
Exactly.
Who knows what was going to happen?
We never heard about it.
I never heard about it, but that was that.
Because they like to cover up people like that, too.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. Another thing that's a cover-up is this whole Mississippi ice shit. Did you see this raid last week?
With the chicken factory? They got
680 people.
Working.
Thank you. They call them illegals, undocumented. They're not any of them. These are fucking people. The minute we have to start acknowledging people as people. Stop calling them adjectives of how you want to describe them, because then you put them in a box and you don't. When you call people illegal aliens or undocumented people, you make them unreal. You make them objects. They're people who were at work. They went to seven different food processing plants.
Not on the streets.
Not criminals.
Doing the work that Americans that are
Isn't
documented
that what you're supposed to be doing?
Don't want to do.
Thank you. Come on, baby.
They just started school.
Come on, cousin. That's cousin over there.
They're sitting in school waiting on their parents to come pick them up, and nobody showed up. All those little kids in the gym just waiting on somebody to come get them from school.
That was terrible.
And nobody showed up.
I was like, I'm tired.
On the first day of school.
First day of school.
On the first day of school. I don't think that was an accident. I think that was some bullshit. And they processed them in an old airplane hangar. That's how, because they had busloads of people. So, you mean to tell me you wasn't picking on people? Then this happened on the same day that 45 was supposed to be going out to El Paso to go help grieving families, and then you got the U.S. attorney damn near bragging about how many people he got. That's some bullshit.
At work.
At work. But ICE, when we did a story a couple weeks ago, we talked about, you remember A+, I think it was in Tennessee as well, where the family, they were circling around this people's family, and the neighbors got around them and barred them and kept ICE from taking them. And they were like, the ICE made a statement talking about, we don't arbitrarily just pick on people. Some of these people have like criminal cases, and these people did not.
No, they don't.
They're not criminals.
They're at work.
They're at work. Working. And so, and it was a sting operation because they had undercover people working in the plants to go and they had audio and video recordings of managers and owners who were hiring undocumented people who they arrested. Like, is there a law saying you can't hire people who don't have a green card? Is there a law saying you can't do that? Why did you have to have a whole big sting operation? They weren't on the street doing nothing, doing no bullshit. They was at work. These kids they had kids on there crying and pleading for their. They did end up letting about 300.
America is such a bully right now. A lot of those countries that like Americans are scared to go to because of the way that people handle situations. I feel like America is becoming that, even though like we are one of the greatest countries in the world.
Yeah. Well, that's because of the current leadership. I would almost bet my life. Well, we know that. That's because of the current leadership. This was who's sitting over in the seat. But a lot of countries are warning their residents about coming over here. They're like, be careful, especially with all the domestic terrorism. They keep calling them mass shooting. That's not mass shooting. That's domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
That's what that is. You're a terrorist.
You're
a terrorist.
Oh my God.
But they did let about 300 of them go home. They released about 300 of them to their families. I mean, these kids some of the neighbors stepped in and helped some of the children and fed them, whatever. But no amount of food or no shelter is going to take the place of a kid wanting to know where the hell their mom and daddy are. But when people stepped in to help, that's what America looks like. Because they keep talking about this whole rhetoric about go home and go where you came from. But my reply has always been this: let's all play go back the fuck home and we'll see who's left.
Okay.
Native Americans, not Indians. Don't call them Indians because you only call them Indians because you were lost and you thought you were in India. They're Native Americans. So we all go home, and nobody gonna be left for them. So stop telling people to go home. We're all illegal immigrants. Shit.
Okay, they're the only ones that should be here.
Only ones, and you push them to the middle of the country, but that's some bullshit. Yeah. But let me tell you who's trying to clean up some bullshit, honey. The governor of Tanzania. Check this out. This was interesting to me. The governor of Tanzania who's Paul Makonda. He plans to create and publish a national database of married men to protect women from heartbreaks. He said he's been getting a lot of calls from women who were proposed to by men and then left. These women were like paying these men's bills and stuff like that, and the men just left them high and dry. So he's wanting to create in Tanzania, in Africa. He wants to create a database of men who are married that you can check and see if you're someone dating to you, and he proposes to you. You can go check. Let me see if this fool married.
Okay, yeah.
Because of all the heartbreaks. He's wanted to create that. You think that he's wanted to stop the infidelity in Tanzania? What you think about?
Do it on both genders though, not just the man.
Oh,
that could be done too. But it's a lot of men who are doing. What you think about that? I thought you turned your microphone on. There's a lot of men. Apparently, it's the big thing over there. I don't know. Honey, it's a big thing everywhere. Right.
I don't know how many.
You need a database of married men. That would be interesting.
I'm like, what are you gonna do with me?
Girl, they said
they tell you, and I'm like,
and so the men can check and see, and so but see, also there was the governor in Kenya. He had posted on his Facebook page. He posted 2 numbers on his Facebook page for women to call to expose politicians who are going outside of their marriage and having babies and leaving the women.
Ooh.
He said, if you have proof and pictures, send them to me and we'll expose them.
Did you see Scottie Pippen have a little side piece?
Girl. But then his wife had one too. Why she fucking with Future?
I don't know.
But see, you know what? You can't allegedly, right? But you know what? You don't even need a database like out here because these women out here, you see them with their women and their wives, and they still. I think in the situations over there, they're talking about more innocent situations. Because a lot of times the women out here are going after married men. Going after married athletes and celebrities in order to try to extort them for money. A lot of them are.
Okay.
You don't think so?
No, they do. Did you see Black China is like the queen of that?
But is it Black China or is it them sisters?
I think Black China. Well, for me, she's the first one that comes to mind because she.
What married man was she trying to go to?
Not a married man, but like she played like that game where she got pregnant by somebody with a great last name. That family, you know,
he wasn't married to nobody.
He wasn't married to nobody. I get for sure.
I think she upped the ante.
She got Kylie Jenner back, is what she did. Because Kylie dated her baby daddy. So then,
knowing that they was together.
So then she got with Kylie's brother, had a baby, let him pay for her to get her surgery back after her baby, and then she left him. I thought she was a G. I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
I thought she was a G. That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm gonna get your family to pay me money.
If your brother's gonna be
baby, and my body's gonna look good after too.
Well, and now she has her own show.
And what's he selling socks right now?
He used to sell socks in Macy's. I don't know what he's selling, child.
And she's collecting stocks.
Child. He's selling socks and she's collecting stocks.
Okay.
They doing something now.
She'll change her wig, honey, and get a Lamborghini to match it. I'm like, damn,
yes, she will.
Must be nice.
Must be nice, honey. But yeah, that's what that was, honey. That's what they doing over there in Tanzania, child. But they are trying to also pass Bill 1482 here in California, which is going to try to help with some of this homelessness in LA specifically.
Crazy.
Is out of control. And we've talked about this on so many different episodes, and it's not because people are not wanting to work. It's not because people are drug addicts or lazy or want to be homeless. It's because it's getting very difficult to live.
It's expensive
as hell. And Bill 1482
people don't want to pay.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like your life, and it's not like people are trying to ball out of control. You're just trying to live your life in a regular dwelling place, and the rent is going up, but the pay is not.
Well, I think they're doing a thing now where they're gonna like hold it where like you can't up the rent or whatever.
Well, Bill 1482 again with the very gorgeous Gavin Newsom is trying to pass this bill so that it restricts landlords from raising the rent in California more than 7% over a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I lived in a place and like every year they would go up a little bit.
Yes.
Like, oh, we're going up, and I'm like,
but it would be a lot more. It wouldn't be like $10 to $15. It'd be like, oh, we're gonna go. My rent went up to like $200.
Yeah, I'm like,
really?
you put paint on the walls, and now you want me to pay you an extra $1,000 a month? I'm good.
From paint.
Yeah, or
I mean,
just
like,
whatever.
living should be. It's not. It's just ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. But they're having a congressional hearing tomorrow. Congresswoman Maxine Waters holding a here in LA. It's going to be on tomorrow at the California African American Museum, and they're going to be discussing the homelessness crisis here in LA. Mayor Garcetti is supposed to be in attendance, and also some organizations that provide assistance for the homeless are going to be speaking. But a lot, and you need assistance when you're homeless, but I think a lot of that, we need to talk about some prevention measures. Mm-hmm. Once you're homeless, you're fucking homeless. You need help and still, but can we prevent people from getting on the fucking street? What were you going to say?
Just lower these damn prices. I just don't get it.
Lower the prices for sure.
It kills me.
Yeah. Period. It doesn't take a whole conference to do that.
See, this is where
it's greed.
This is where I get frustrated with the community, right? Mm-hmm. And fair enough, not everybody is going to be politicized.
Right.
I get that. I think just getting the community politicized is a challenge in itself.
Okay.
But I'm a firm believer in boycotting certain things.
Yeah.
I feel like if you just took one apartment complex and if everybody within that apartment complex decided not to pay their rent,
yeah,
I just feel like that's a power move.
That is a power move.
And I feel like management, landlords, or whatever, they're gonna do whatever they can to at least.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
Just saying,
that's a lot of right.
And that goes with the local store or whatever. Just we have to take back that power because we have people who are in high places dictating our lives.
Yeah.
It just kills me. It really.
The rich are getting richer and the poor are being homeless.
We need to follow suit with Puerto Rico, they turned everything around over there. They got their what is it? They got him to resign.
Oh, talking about the governor.
Yeah.
They got his ass out there from the text messages and shit. Sure but you know what? There is a gentleman. There's a man. His name is John Park. He owns a restaurant. You ever heard of Toast?
No.
It's a restaurant and bakery, but this particular one is in Orange County. 10 to 20% of his employees are homeless. And he's giving them jobs. He said because him and his wife, when he was starting his ventures out of starting his restaurant, they came very close to being homeless. And so he just I just turned it around and give them a job.
That's what you're supposed to do with power.
Thank you. Help people. And they are working. They're hardworking. And what I didn't realize too is that nationally, 25% of the people who are employed are homeless. Or experiencing some level of homelessness.
I have friends that are homeless. I have friends that are living in their car.
Yes.
And
now they've made laws you can't even sleep in your fucking car. What do you do?
Where am I supposed to go?
Thank you.
You want me to set up on the sidewalk?
You can't even do. But you know what? You can't sleep in your car, but you could pinch a tent in front of somebody in the same street you can't sleep in your car in. You could pinch a tent right there and sleep, and they can't move you. Weird as fuck. But people would rather sleep in their cars than outside.
I'd rather sleep in my car than outside.
Right. In a tent. Let's go to another song before we do our topic. Really quick. Do you have another song to play for us, Miss KYLIE?
Let's do a cover. Let's do, I did a cover of Britney Spears' Toxic.
Yes.
But I put a little soulful, country
spin
on it. I even added I freestyled.
You
believe
did?
it or not, I freestyled the last verse in it. I just made it up as I went. Cool. I added a verse to it.
Well, let's hear a little bit of this song, honey. Toxic. We're back. That was Toxic. That was a Britney Spears cover by Miss KYLIE Love, honey. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was different to do, right?
I just been trying to find them. I'm just been trying to find my sound, and
sounds to me like you found it.
I think so.
sounds like you've came out of.
I embrace my being from the South, and I grew up on country music, and I used to listen to the rap station on low because, my dad's like, turn that down.
Turn that down.
And I just always had such a strong bond with, Black culture.
Okay.
And
hey, tonight's topic is out of the familiar into the unknown. What were you gonna say, bud?
No, I was just gonna ask, based off of that, I'm just curious to know how you feel about the Lil Nas X song
I love it.
Billy Ray Cyrus. There was just a lot of flack, at least I think, within the hip hop community. Like,
well, he got it from both sides, but his song is number one for over 19 weeks now.
Yeah.
Not only
somebody like it.
Yeah. Everybody like it.
Completely.
They're not wanting to say it out loud. I mean, people are listening to this song, and he not only is he a black man crossing over into country music, he also is a gay man.
Yeah.
In the hip hop world.
And
people are they're respecting him. Between him and Lizzo right now, like they are killing it.
They are killing it. It is out of the familiar into the unknown, which is basically our topic. They're doing something that's unknown, and it's always scary when you are the first, when you're the pioneer to do something, because you're like, you don't have a reference point.
Yeah.
So that's a nice topic, friends. We're talking about the familiar, and we know that familiar is defined as something that's well known or has a close association with, something that you're intimate with. And the unknown is basically not known or unfamiliar. That's what unknown means. So with that being said, why do you think it is most difficult, or why do you think that we choose the bondage of familiar and not the freedom of the unknown?
Because people are sometimes people are scared of change. But what people don't realize is with change comes growth, and your muscles get stronger and your brain gets smarter, and you're able to level up as a human, as an enlightened one. And like for me, that's kind of where I was before I started doing music. I was scared of changing. Like, oh my God, like what if people think I suck? Or, or like I've only been able to pay my bills this way. Like how it's scary to think that, like,
it's scary as hell.
Is crazy. It's like not everybody gets to be successful in music, You can love music all you want to, and you can be a great singer. There's plenty of great people who are not putting out albums, who are not have any support.
Right.
And it's just like, it's a tough world, and I just, I'm listening to the universe, and the universe is telling me to do this, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. But
at least you're taking the initiative to do it, because I think that most times for us as people, as humans, I think that we make excuses for what's familiar, even if it's dysfunction, and we'll just say that's just normal.
Habit.
Creatures of habit. Even if it's dysfunction, we will normalize dysfunction with the fear of what does wellness and health look like, because freedom comes with a price. Ain't shit free about freedom. Absolutely. Something has to be given up, be it your behavior, your vernacular, your associations. We have to, and we become comfortable in those things. It's hard to have to be like, okay, now I gotta talk a certain way, now I gotta move a certain way, now I gotta behave a certain way. And we live in this society where we always are. We did a show a few weeks ago about keeping it real and what keeping it real is. We think that now we're not real anymore. We're liars because we now change the way we speak or who we associate with. So we're not keeping it real. We've turned that into fake instead of saying, baby, that's just not fake. That's evolution. You have to evolve.
You have to.
At some point, a baby has to come up off the tit. You got to use your own cup here. But it'd be scary, like, I have to do this. I remember before, when I was younger, I used to always be like, I'm always having a roommate. I never want to live on my own.
Now you like, I don't want to. Oh, you can't even spend the night with me.
Girl, you better say that. I'll be like, shit, living by yourself is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's scary because you're like, oh my God, it's all on me. It's all my responsibility. And your life is your responsibility.
But then you're like, ooh, I'm glad I ain't got nobody here right now. I can walk around my house naked.
Well, we also don't realize that is also the newness of ourselves. And I always like to use the analogy of the butterfly and the caterpillar. That is the only species of any sort of animal or creation that is the same animal, but it has two different names.
What is it?
A caterpillar and a butterfly.
Okay.
It's the same thing, but it's two different animals at the same time.
Right, because when it transitions.
Because one is a caterpillar and says, you know what? But in order to be able to even begin to go to the unknown, you have to be clear on who you are.
Crawl before you can fly.
Yes. You have to have an idea of who you are.
Like if you become a butterfly, that means that you were tough and you didn't get eaten by bugs. You made it through. You made it through.
But something about the caterpillar says, I'm living on the earth and I'm crawling on my belly, but I want to be in the sky. How do I do that? So it's scary to go from eating, leaves to now pollinating flowers.
Okay,
and having these beautiful wings. But you start off as a worm.
Do moths start off as worms?
I don't. Just caterpillars and butterflies.
Those things scare. I know that's
a moth scares you.
Okay, this is my what do you call it?
Your random van. Your moth scare you.
They do. I don't know what it is. It's basically the same animal, but yeah. Anyway.
But you know what I didn't realize that people may not know is that buffalo, when there's a storm, buffalo run into the storm.
Really?
Yeah. Everything else runs away from it. Even cattle runs away. Buffaloes run into a storm, and buffaloes run into a storm because they want to get it over with. That's the scariness about the unknown. We're running from the unknown, but the buffalo run into it because they're like, let's just get through it.
It makes it less scary.
You get it over with. There's fear of it. You minimize the pain, and you spend less time being frustrated inside of it. So we have to just take the time to not be so fearful of what's unknown. Tap into who we are, so that we can find out who we're going to be. And it's going to be scary. You know what? I always tell people, even when I have new clients, because I do hair. Sometimes when they're new to you, they're like, well, I'm a little bit scared. I say, don't be scared. You can be nervous, but don't be scared.
Yeah. If you're scared, then...
Nerves are fine. And fear is okay as long as it's not debilitating.
Right.
Because that's a protective measure. You are amazing, Miss KYLIE, honey.
Thank you.
Tell the friends where they can reach you at.
You guys can catch me on my social media outlets, Twitter and Instagram at XOSONIQUE. That's XO like kisses and hugs.
Kisses and hugs.
SONIQUE. XO Sonique. Check me out there. I'd appreciate it.
And also, you can hit her up on the find your music on iTunes, right?
Yes, you can find my music on iTunes. I'm going to create a SoundCloud for my covers and stuff like that, just so that people are able to like some of those songs that I'm just playing around with. People can have those and listen to them until I get this album out. So if there's anybody out there listening to this and they want to help me put this album together, hit me up.
Please do. We're so grateful that you popped by.
Thank you.
We're so glad that you came over, took time out of your time. And cousin, hi cousin, came over. Next week, Miss Granger will be back. We'll be here, and our guest will be Miss J. Ingram. She is from Hidden Jewels Tea. That's a cannabis infused tea. It's amazing. Ooh. It's great, and I love her. And next week's topic is going to be, where is baggage claim?
Where is baggage? Okay.
We're going to be talking about some of these bags that we're claiming.
Oh, okay.
Yes, honey. Where's the baggage claim? We have to talk about some of these bags that we're claiming. Are we packing the wrong gear for the right trip?
Or back,
girl.
Leave it there.
But we thank you all so much, friends, for popping by. We look forward to seeing you every Tuesday, 8 to 10 p.m. And we will see you next week. Plop out.